Today will be the third part in my deep guide to time travel series. If you haven't seen the first two parts, go back and watch those first. I'll put links in the description because if you don't understand any of that, you probably won't understand any of this. Um, Today we'll be going full six-dimensional. As a quick recap, the first video I went over the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensions. Fourth dimension is like a line. Fifth dimension is like a tree, and sixth dimensions, which I'm about to get into a little more, is like a sea. Um, um, One-dimensional, two-dimensional, and three-dimensional time. And in the last video, I went over a little more in depth in fifth dimensional time about how everything can, has, and will have happened in. And today, the topic of this video is I'll be going a little more in depth, as I said, in six dimensions and why you shouldn't time travel. So, where should I start? So, you time travel, let's say, into the past, change something, now you're in a new timeline. We already went over this. And now, you try to go back to the future, but you're in a different timeline. I think I got a little into this in the last video. And depending on what you changed, back here, if you're just existing there, then that doesn't really change much, but if you, change some event that affected the whole timeline, then you're probably going to go back to a pretty different future. Either way, you're now in a completely different timeline than you started out with. And actually, this isn't even right, because you weren't in the future of that timeline yet either. So it really looks more like this. You time travel into the past, change something, then you travel into the future of that new timeline, and you weren't there before, so you're in a new timeline again. So why does this matter? Because, well, I'm gonna assume, well, it doesn't really matter what future, like what time you're in, because, well, what I'm getting at is that you can't get back here. Because if you tried to go back here, you would only be in another new timeline because you weren't there before. So, that's what I'm getting at in this thing, is one of the dangers of time travel is that as long as you time travel, every time you time travel, you're in a new timeline, because because these timelines didn't have you time traveling elsewhere. So you're always in a new timeline. There's always a timeline where you didn't time travel then. And this means that you can never get back to the original timeline, and there's always a timeline where you don't come back. And this is why you shouldn't time travel, because even if you tried, you will always be leaving. Even if you get back, there will always be a timeline where there isn't, where you don't get back. Leading off of the last video a little bit there. And the only way that you could get back, I'm not sure, traveling six-dimensionally, I don't think it'd be possible to do this, because you'd just be in another new timeline. Yeah, I can't draw six-dimensional time on a two-dimensional space. Haven't figured out how to do that yet. But yeah, so you can't. There will always be a timeline where you didn't come back, and to my understanding of the six dimensions, there's always going to be a timeline where you don't come back, and there's could still be hope that there couldn't be a timeline where you don't come back, but that would require 7D, 8D, 9D, 10D, something like that. I don't really understand dimensions 7 through 9 that well. I know for sure 10 dimensions would do it, but I'm not really sure about dimensions 7, 8, and 9. One last thing to add on to that is that, um, luckily, as far as we know, that is, besides like quarks, we exist in a timeline that doesn't have time travel. And maybe time travel does exist, it's just we exist in a pretty far from it. Who's to say, really? But as long as we exist when we do, we don't have to worry about time travel, luckily. So there could still be all this six-dimensional chaos going on in the background, but we would still be isolated from all of that, luckily. And that's why you shouldn't time travel, because that would unleash all that on us too. The more, or not rather us, but the time traveler, because um the people that aren't time traveling aren't really aware of that. They just are aware of the fourth dimensional timeline, not really the fifth and sixth dimensional stuff. Um, so yeah, that's why you shouldn't time travel, and you shouldn't even invent a time machine, because the mere existence of a time machine, um, going off my topic from the last video again, makes all this practically inevitable to some capacity, because even if you decide not to time travel, there could still be timelines where you do decide to time travel, and there could still be timelines where someone else decides to use your time machine to time travel. So yeah, I think that's my main point for now. I'm trying to remember here if I have anything else to say. Um, I'm not sure that I do. Hmm. So yeah, fourth dimensions, fifth dimensions, sixth dimensions. Is there anything else sixth dimensionally that I'm missing to tell you? I don't think, unless I can try to elaborate more, but I've already elaborated, so I don't really want to go back. And so this will be the end of this for now, because yeah, that's all that I know of. I could maybe go in depth, like describing how time travel stuff works, like from Mega Dino and maybe other shows. But for now, this is the end of um, this, as I can see. Hope you enjoyed it, I guess. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.